In my latest videos, I've been talking about the transition we're going through where the whole planet is taking an evolutionary leap. So today, I'll explain the main differences between the states of consciousness from the third and fifth dimension. The intention is to help you to identify if you're already reaching higher levels of consciousness and to help you recognize what the changes you still need to work on. Even though it's a collective process, it is up to each one of us to choose whether we want to participate in this transition or not. Of course, all souls are constantly evolving, but some go faster, some go slower, and some get stagnant for a long time until they get tired of exploring whatever it is that they are exploring and decide to seek for new experiences. During this transition, no matter how much you decide to collaborate with this process, it is normal for your consciousness to be oscillating between these two dimensions because we're still halfway and the collective consciousness impacts us a lot. But the lighter the energies get, the longer your consciousness will manage to operate in the fifth dimensional frequencies until everything stabilizes completely. So pay attention to the descriptions and let me know later which ones have you already achieved, which ones you still need to work on, and if you have anything to add to this list, share with me in the comments. I believe the first big step people need to take to raise their consciousness is to understand and accept the idea they are not victims. They are creative consciousness and have chosen to go through all the experiences they are having in this life and all the other ones. Without this, you cannot even start to comprehend the meaning of your own existence, let alone how the great design of God works. You'll know you have made this shift in your consciousness when your reaction automatically changes from "Why is life so unfair?" to "Why am I creating this?" Speaking about injustices, you only believe in them and fear the future when you see existence as a random chaos where anything can happen. From the moment you understand that there are divine laws and perfection in everything that exists, fear is a word that will come out of your vocabulary because you'll know that you'll only experience what serves a greater purpose in your life. And as difficult as they might seem, there is always a huge growth behind them. Actually, I would even say that when you observe how much fear you feel, you can have an idea whether your vibration is lighter or heavier. The more worry and fear, the closer to the third dimension. The more centered and calmer, the closer to the divine. As you can see, there is a direct connection between your thoughts and your vibration. In the third dimension, the mind is more turbulent because it tends to go either to the past or to the future, which is quite useless because you have no control over them. Too much past might cause depression, too much future might cause fear and anxiety, and all these feelings can lower a lot your vibration. As in the fifth dimension, time is not so linear and there is a better understanding about how it actually works, the mind tends to focus more on the present moment, which leads us to be more calm, centered and peaceful. And the more you raise your consciousness, the tendency is to use less your logical mind and use more your heart center, which is where your intuition is. Speaking about time, the perception of time is very different in these two dimensions. As the energies are already much more subtle compared to 50 years ago, all of us are having the feeling that time is passing much faster. But some people still follow this passage in a linear way, while others don't. Time as a sequence of past, present and future, we already know. But then, what would it be like to be timeless? It would be very similar to what was portrayed in the movie Arrival, where everything happens in parallel, simultaneously. You'd be able to see the connection between the events of your life in a non-linear way, and you would have insight in your mind from both past and future. The more timeless you become, the more you understand that your present moment is influenced by both at the same time. In other words, the person you are today is as much a consequence of the things that have already happened to you as well as the things that will still happen. I know it's a bit crazy, but when you expand your consciousness, it gets easier to understand. In the third dimension, there's not only the illusion of time, but also the illusion of separation. We feel as if we were separated from each other, from the environment, from the cosmos, from God, when actually we are part of a much bigger and unified organism at all levels of existence. humankind, the planet, the universe, and creation. The more you evolve spiritually and expand your consciousness, the more you will understand that God is all that is. He is the creator, and we are like cells in the body of creation. As the great prophets already said, literally, we're all one and we're all connected. Besides the illusion of time and separation, we also have the illusion of dualities in the third and fourth dimension. And in case you don't know, the fourth dimension is the astral plane, a non-physical copy from here. The topics existing in these levels are seen as separated polarities like masculine and feminine, when actually they're just the opposite sides of the same spectrum of energy that the souls need to learn how to balance. In this sense, people have a hard time accepting the idea that negative and bad things are also part of creation, but at the level we are now, we learn by contrast, which means light does not exist without darkness. We cannot understand one without understanding the other. While the third dimensional consciousness is a battle between good and evil, the fifth dimensional consciousness sees a unified force field that will help you in the best way possible to explore anything that you want. Because of everything I've mentioned so far, the feeling that life is unfair, the illusion of separation, and the polarities, we have a very bad habit of judging people according to our human concepts of what is right and wrong, which in turn leads us to want revenge and punishment, which are very low vibrational feelings. These things don't exist in the fifth dimension. The souls who live there understand and practice unconditional love, which is something virtually non-existent here on Earth. To love unconditionally means accepting and respecting people exactly as they are, including the choices they make even when you don't like or agree with them, without judging, without condemning, or emanating any kind of negative energy. Just respecting the free will they have to choose what they want to explore, no matter how bad it seems to you. The lighter your vibration gets, the easier and faster it becomes to manifest the things you want. Your attitude changes from see to believe to see, because you understand that you need to believe first and then see a reflection of that in your physical reality. You also learn to identify how the universe communicates with you, and the word coincidence ends up being replaced by the word synchronicity. You need an ego to exist in the third dimension, because it is what makes you believe that this reality is real. It is responsible for giving you an identity, locating you here, and taking care of your survival in this physical world. And the more driven by it you are, the more you'll pay attention to the things you lack physically, which will only create more scarcity in your life. When you study spirituality, you understand better how energies work, and you learn that the universe is very generous and will always serve you more of anything that you put your attention to. And you start to use this knowledge wisely, focusing on what you want instead of focusing on what you don't want, because you know that the only thing you'll get is to create more of it. You also understand the difference between wants and needs, and you realize that at any given moment in your life, you always had, have, and will have anything that you need. And this will bring you more feelings of gratitude and abundance, which will raise your vibration and make it more compatible with the fifth dimension. After everything I've described today, I think you can imagine that the fifth dimension would be like heaven compared to the third. If you want to understand better about this transition, watch this video here. Other than that, I really hope today's video has helped you somehow. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.